Hi, Jonathan and Mrs. Mark. This is Mr. Goodwin here, and I just wanted to welcome you to HTA and let you know what your sort of average day and week is going to look like as an HTA student. Okay, a good place to start each day, and I sent you the link for this, is our middle school website. This really works as a guide for what to do. You'll notice here that it says quick links, new students, click here. So this is a good place to start. Okay, so what happens on here is you're going to look under 7th grade, okay, 8th grade's at the bottom, but we've kind of compiled a list of our most important videos. So, like you can meet me and Miss Vallejo through this math introduction video. You can learn how to take math notes on this video. There's going to be something called the SBAC. You can click that and it's got some information about that. Okay, we've got this template. It's sort of like a guide to how to take these notes called Cornell Notes, which you'll be expected to take this year for each of your subject areas. Okay, and then basically there's some good tutorials on how to take good notes. Okay, so I'd recommend taking a couple of hours and just sort of going through that. And then if you want to see so let me go back home. And if you want to see what your average day or week looks like, you're going to click on the 7th grade tab, the daily plan and calendar. Okay, and this is really the heart of what's going to happen, okay? It automatically takes you all the way back to week 1. This is going to take a minute to load here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're on week 1. You see the dates up here. It's all the way back to August 11th, okay? Let me go ahead and I'll click to a more normal week. Let's look at week 3, okay? Currently we're in week 8. We're not going to jump all the way there because we're basically doing some end of quarter finals this week. But so here's week 3. You can see the dates up there. This is when we really started getting into our classes. Okay, this goes Monday, August the 25th through the 29th. And so you see it's broken up by subject area: life science, language arts, Hawaiian history, intermediate math B. You're actually in pre-algebra, so we didn't start the pre-algebra curriculum until, was it week 4 or week 5? Okay, let me go ahead and I'm gonna put it on week 4 just to not confuse you with the math curriculum. Okay, and so you look in any average week, the 7th graders, your learning center, your LC day is on Tuesdays. So this kind of shows everything that you're doing in class on a Tuesday. Okay. We have a couple of virtual days, so if you look where we don't have a holiday on a Monday, we have virtual classes, Wednesday as well. So you can tell exactly what's going to be covered in virtual classes. It says VC, so virtual class, and Mr. Zatello at 11 a.m. is teaching the online school, so this is from your K-12. Anytime you see OLS, it means your K-12 curriculum. 1.5, Unit 1, Lesson 5 on classification of living things. So when you click on this, it takes you straight into his live classroom. So you see it's at 11 a.m. That's obviously when you would want to start. Okay, we can see what they're doing in language arts at noon. Mrs. Wynn has a Robert Frost from Literature, Unit 2, Lesson 4. 1 o'clock, Miss DeZugan has open tutoring if you have any trouble. Okay, so this is your virtual days. Now here's the deal. These virtual classes are typically not required. So if you don't do the virtual classes, you do need to do these lessons. You do need to go to your online school and do Unit 1, Lesson 5. You do need to go to your literature and do 2.3 or Unit 2, Lesson 3. It's basically showing you what to do. If you want some guidance on them and to go through the lesson with a teacher and a group of students in the class, then you can click on the link and go into the live classroom. Okay. Now you may notice some things in red. These are the things that are going to count for your grades. This one says this is for Hawaiian history, so you don't have to worry about any of this right now. But when you do see something in red on the new calendar for the 2nd quarter, then you'll need to take special note of that because that will be for a grade. Okay, so I'll just click on this. I don't know, she may have closed this, but I'll see what happens if the quiz still pops up. Okay, it does. Okay, so you can see the quiz that Mrs. Al made for her Hawaiian history class for this day. And you would just go in and fill it out and then when you're finished, you submit. Okay. Typically, though, let me go back to the daily plan. Okay. Sometimes it tells you, like this says, Online School 1.6 Part 1, Lesson Assessment Quiz 1. So this goes straight from your online school. Okay, so what happens is we record the grade when you take the you go through this lesson, Unit 1, Lesson 6. Okay, it's called Domains of Life, and when you take that off of your online school, that assessment that comes at the end of the lesson, then we will use that for a grade. Okay, so here's what I'd recommend. Let me go over a couple more things real quick. We have so virtual class Monday, Wednesday. These are optional. You can attend or not attend, but if you do not attend, make sure you cover the lessons from your online school that they're listing. Okay, Tuesday is our learning center. I talked to your mom about the times for that. Thursday and Friday are just normal work from home days. You're going to kind of go through and do each of the different things, activities from that day. This is the calendar you refer to. Okay. Sometimes we have this thing called, I think it's week 5. Sometimes on Thursdays we have this thing called Community Day at OVC. We do it twice a month. This is the Oahu Veterans Center, which is it's near the Ice Palace. Okay, but we do tutoring from 10 o'clock to 2 p.m. at that site on Thursdays that mark Community Day at OVC. So if you have tutoring needs, you can attend those days, and they're clearly marked in yellow on the calendar. Okay, so that's basically your responsibility each day, is clicking on the 7th grade daily plan and going through the lessons for each day. And if it's a virtual day, sort of mapping out or choosing which classes you attend online and which you do on your own. Okay, so I'd recommend attending an online class or two, see how you like it, see how it fits in your schedule, and kind of go from there. Maybe design that you want to attend 1 or 2 each Monday and Wednesday. Okay, or basically you have the flexibility to do what works for you. Okay, so I wanted to show you real quick on a lesson for, it's kind of hard for me to see my tabs right now. I think this is, okay. So basically when you go through your curriculum, I'm just going to pick a pre-algebra lesson. Yours is not going to be this confusing. I have a lot of courses on my online school, but so I'm clicking on the unit, and I get into Unit 2. And let's say I click on this lesson for adding integers. Okay, a real important part of this lesson is the lesson objectives. Okay, so this tells me what the assessment is going to be on, what the most important parts of this are. Okay, and they'll talk about these in your when you look at the how to write notes. Okay, but for math, one thing that's kind of cool is you can click on this offline learning. This is a little bit different from your other subject areas, and it shows you where you are in the reference guide. Okay, the reference guide is the student book. There's a couple different ways you can get there. If I click back on the middle school team site, okay, I'm going to go to the math website, and right here is your pre-algebra book. So if I click there, it's going to open up my pre-algebra book. Okay, let me go back to that lesson real quick. So it says, so I've written down my objectives for my notes. It says review pages 45 to 48, and then it gives you some practice on pages 48 to 49. So I'm gonna put on page 45 in my online textbook. Okay, I click the cover. I just punch in 45. Here's page 45. Okay, and if you're a pretty independent student and you can go through these examples and write your notes and understand, write down important information, keywords, definitions. If you can go through these examples, understand them, and then complete some of the practice that comes on the pages afterwards, then you've pretty much gone through a math lesson, and As long as you understand the objectives, you're ready to take the assessment at the end of the, at the end of the lesson. Okay, so here's where your practice starts, is on page 48, and it continues through page 49. Okay, so math lessons, you can cut them a little bit short by writing down your objectives, going to the lesson navigator, and you can see all the parts in this lesson. Okay, it gives you some groundwork to prepare, it gives you some rules, but if you can find the page in the book off the offline learning and understand the examples that they give you and be successful on your practice, then you're pretty much ready to take the lesson assessment. And let me show you one more thing real quick. This has the solutions. So when you click on this, it's going to open up the solutions to today's problem. So what you do is you practice your problems. Typically they have you do the odd or even problems, and you can check your answers by looking at that link. Okay, but you've got to be real disciplined, because you don't want to, you're really only going to hurt yourself if you look ahead at the solutions to it. Okay, so that's the basics for like a math lesson. Something like science is going to work a little bit differently. I teach science as well, but let me just show you a science lesson real quick. Okay, you're taking life science this year, which is really cool. We learn a lot of neat stuff in life science this year. Okay, we're finishing Unit 2 on cells right now. And so what happens is, it works a bit differently from math. But what you would do is you would once again start with your lesson objectives, write them down in your own words, and then it's going to take you through different slides. This one I think is taking a minute to load a picture anyhow, but you'd go through the different slides and take notes as you go. Okay, and then review your objectives, and if you're good to go on your objectives, then you're ready to take the assessment. Okay, so that's how a science lesson works. Okay, let me take you back to the middle school team site. Okay, so you definitely today want to do this new student link. Okay, what I would recommend is going to your daily plan and calendar. And at this point, I would maybe pick something from a few weeks ago, maybe from week 3, and try to go through an entire day. You don't need to click on the assessments that are in red. You'll do that when you start back in the second quarter. But go through a typical day and see what it looks like. Okay, you can do some of the work, and you can just get an idea of how the day goes. Maybe get an idea of how the week is paced and things like that. Okay. Once you've gone through the new student things and looked at the daily plan, please let me know if you have any questions. And thanks for watching this. I didn't know it was going to be 13 minutes long, but have a great day, and I will see you on Friday morning.